Good evening, everyone. Jodasaur streaming from the northeast of England, and we are live across 4 streaming platforms. We are live on Twitch, we are live on Mixer, DLive, and YouTube Gaming, and we are returning to Mass Effect 1 to commence another Mass Effect Trilogy playthrough. This time, though, with a full Renegade Female Infiltrator. We started the series again on Monday nights. We've completed the initial missions at the start of the game and done the initial run around Citadel. So we'll be ready to actually go out into the galaxy to do missions there pretty soon. It's a case of just going around. I'll have to talk with various people on the ship. I think I'm going to introduce myself to Garrus, Rex, and Tally. Apologies for not getting on at 7 o'clock as advertised, but I probably should have realised this. But upon launching Steam, which is where my Mass Effect 1 and 2 installs come from, they're not part of Origin. Only 3 is part of Origin. Of course, today is the day that the Borderlands updates had come out. So Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel got a fairly hefty update. And then Borderlands 1, it turns out, wasn't an update, but a complete different install altogether. So that needed allowed to install with the original version removed from my machine beforehand, just to make sure that I wasn't going to be taking up space that was no longer needed, so to speak. So unfortunately that kind of ate into my time, and that's why I'm only just getting on now.
Thanks for bringing me on board, Commander. I knew working with the Spectre would be better than life at CSEC.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
You did the right thing. Life's too short to sit around waiting for things to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be calming inference on Garrus on this particular playthrough.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
We came as soon as we got the distress call, even with the fastest ship in the fleet.
You did the best you could, Commander. It's my fault. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
We never trained to fight synthetics. The Geth haven't gone beyond the Veil in 3 centuries.
Our training's supposed to make us able to adapt. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am?
Nice ship you've got, Shepard. What can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story. Go ask the Quarian if you want stories.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
Yeah, they tried the same with us, but we fought them off.
It's not the same.
Seems similar enough to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation? An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth? And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
You're still here. Can't be all that bad.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
I was just making conversation. I wasn't trying to upset you.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago. The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far. Every Krogan is infected, every one. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist? You ask a Krogan, would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credits? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Right, so we update with Adams and Tally.
Hey, Commander, you know that Quarian, Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
You've got an eye for Tally, Commander, but I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. And she's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation, too easy for sensors to pick them up, unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space. Most vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster-than-light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Carry on, Adams.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel space. I have to thank you again for bringing me along. Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
I had no idea you found ship technology so interesting.
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Geth.
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work. Mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla. Grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Tell me about your people.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce, and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts. It's a safeguard that served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
I want to talk about something else.
Like what?
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Interesting.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
How come the Council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. 1 million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers. As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
You didn't really think they'd just let you destroy them without a fight, did you?
The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the Veil. Now we drift through space, exile searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
I should go.
See you later.
Okay, so we've done the initial talk to with Garrus, Rex and Tally. So not much more there to do there. I don't think Caden has anything to add other than commentary for the last mission, so we'll cover that, and then otherwise we'll head up to the CIC and get moving on our first sets of actual missions out in the galaxy.
Anything you need, Commander?
What's your opinion on the last?
Hello.
I don't see how we can
Now the mush.
any better. At least not without getting to
just 1 second.
We were on the scene faster than
Yeah, I heard myself go on the stream there.
You're still actually a bit echoey here as well, to be fair.
Ah, fair enough, fair enough. Just so you know, it just popped up. It has the enhanced version of Borderlands.
Right, okay, so it's finally appeared, yeah.
Yeah, thank God. I was thinking, oh God, it might be taking a little while for everyone to get it, sort of thing.
Yeah, I was reading on the discussion forums. It seems to have confused a fair bit of people because, obviously, immediately on launching Steam, you were getting the updates for Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel. That was fairly obvious. But it confused a hell of a lot of people that there wasn't a same update for Borderlands 1. And then it was confusing even more people when there was a separate entity on the store for Game of the Year Enhanced Edition, which was still saying you have to buy for $24. And people were saying, hang on a minute, I thought we were on the impression that if you already had Game of the Year, we got it for free. But as it turns out, a lot of people said, no, you should get it for free, but for some reason, it's a bit glitchy in the game list, and eventually you should see a new item. It's being treated as a separate game, which it is. I've had to completely new reinstall. It's an entirely new executable user interface. The whole works. It seems like what they've effectively done is ripped out the base game and like audio and everything else from the original game, but then placed it in a quote-unquote Borderlands 2 / pre-sequel engine. Because I've noticed subtle differences in just the movement of my character from when I fired up the original game the other night, just to reacquaint, the first game with there was this weird thing in the first game where if you're sprinting and then you try and strafe left or right, you instantly stop. Which wasn't a thing in 2. You might suddenly stop sprinting, but at least you would actually strafe. But in the original Borderlands, if you were sprinting, then you hit strafe, you actually stopped dead. And it was very weird feeling if you're that used to, like, obviously movement, as it were. However, that is now gone.
Good.
So, yeah, that's, like, immediately a change that I saw when I briefly fired it up just to make sure it was all working. So,
yeah, I'll probably download it soon. If you're planning to stream it tomorrow, I'll happily join you. Yeah,
well, I mean, generally speaking, the plan tends to be whatever my main selected game is, that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So at the moment, I'm going to be redoing the Mass Effect Trilogy because I said I was going to do a playthrough of the Renegade Infiltrator, which is what I'm doing now. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays is like other random games if anyone's online and wants to do something.
Thursday tomorrow.
Yeah, so if you're free tomorrow, as is Andy, I'll try and get a message to Strike as well and see, because unfortunately Strike's still obviously suffering with pain at the moment, so he doesn't seem to be appearing much on like normal evenings with everyone else. He's still kind of waking up in the middle of the night when everyone else is asleep.
It was his birthday yesterday anyway, so...
Yeah, so I'm still going to try and drop him off a message and say if he can make it tomorrow night, if he can get the enhanced Borderlands 1 installed himself, and then we've got a full supply for... although, who else was... someone else actually in your...
Mara.
Yeah, he was up for it, because he was wanting to retry his Siren. Apparently.
Yeah, well, Andy wants to do Siren as well, so...
There's nothing actually stopping you from using multiple characters, but obviously for the sake of getting, like, the uniqueness out of all the characters, it's best to try and, have, like, one of each, as it were. My line of thought is it'll either be Brick or Mordecai. For me.
I was looking at what I played in the past. I did about 10 hours in Brick and 4 hours on Soldier.
Yeah.
What's his name? I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Mordecai.
No.
Roland.
Roland, yeah.
Yeah, well, Roland's the only character that I've actually got max level in Borderlands. He was the only one that I actually did any significant playtime with, as I mentioned in the chat, because when I was gifted the game, initially I did play it with like mates and whatnot, but then they all disappeared and would just, like, you know, as they've done before many a time actually. They just decided that, you know, like magpies, ooh, there's a new shiny, we're going to go off and do that. So I was left finishing off Borderlands on my own. But fortunately, because I picked Soldier, that was probably the one of the easier classes to do solo, because it was a case of hide around in the corner and let your turret do the damage if you were struggling. Plus, the Soldier was actually the quote-unquote healer archetype in the first game, actually.
Message coming in, Commander.
So
big surprise.
We'll
The Alliance
see what
needs you
happens.
again.
yeah.
Because I wouldn't mind giving it a good shot, you know.
Well, I mean,
I haven't actually completed it, so.
yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to play with this new update, because I've also led to believe that they've actually changed the game, because the one thing the first game didn't really have in comparison to 2 and pre-sequel is set drops of weapons. So bosses in the first game was just a case of, if you took on a quote-unquote raid boss, it would likely drop high-end weaponry, but it didn't guarantee a certain weapon type. It was always still random. Apparently, though, that's changed so that they've actually set up so that certain raid bosses will drop certain equipment. They've also apparently changed the final boss fight, because it was a joke in the original. It was like it was basically a non-entity. It was the final boss of the original main game. I'm not excluding. I'm excluding the DLC at the moment. But yeah, the original Destroyer mission was just a joke. It's like, yeah, I'm going to stand here and take pot shots and take no damage whatsoever. Oh, what's that? I'm not actually getting any set like drops of loot. Well, screw that. I'll just go and farm Carniflax forevermore from I think the General Locks DLC.
By the way, I've just seen something get posted for Borderlands 3. On the Microsoft Store page, it claims the game will support cross-platform co-op.
Yes. That's not surprising, actually. Microsoft are really pushing for effectively blurring the line between Xbox and Windows 10 PC. So they are really game for effectively merging the two. So when they say Xbox gaming, it's not necessarily just the Xbox console, but also the Xbox app that's on a Windows 10 PC.
Yeah.
What else can you tell me about
so that doesn't surprise me at all.
He's not the same man you served under. He feels responsible for
Very interesting times.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I thought just jump in, say hello, and
yeah,
like
just
that.
confirm that obviously it's working now. Just do obviously like get the message to Andy as well if he you know, needs to obviously get that sorted out. And as I say, I'll try and get a message over to Strike as well to make sure that well, see if he's up for it anyway. If he's in pain and he's not likely to be on, then you know, obviously that's not much we can do really. So, but I'll see if I can convince him to get on if he's at all possible to give it a whirl anyway.
Yeah. Cool. I might be very tired tomorrow, just to warn you, because I've got to be up 3 o'clock in the morning. So yay.
Fair enough. Well, I try and aim for like somewhere between the 7 and 7:30 start.
Yeah, that's fine.
For streaming for that. So yeah, but I should be online on Discord to be poked at, you know, before then anyway. So
yeah, I'll drop into a chat or something. I'll message Andy now saying this is the plan for tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yeah, right. I'll catch you tomorrow, mate.
Right, see you in a bit, Mush.
Bye.
Right, so there we go. So we've kind of tentatively made plans for a start on Borderlands 1, the new enhanced version of the Game of the Year edition that's just been brought out today. So that will be somewhere between 7 o'clock and 7:30 tomorrow night Okay, so this is where I go through my notes again of stuff that I'm acquiring. Right, so that's the biotic compound. Okay, so we've got an anomaly there, anomaly there. Merc's there, that's got a thresher more, which I'll be ignoring. Merc's there, I can probably ignore as well. Mineral there, in the compound. Okay, so I go here. Fun with the Mako. I use that word sarcastically, obviously. I'm not too fussed on picking up loot so much because I've already got all the best gear, as it were. And I'm actually, despite the fact that it's again removed my Savant X Omni tools on my companions, I'm not too broken hearted about like that as I was on my soldier playthrough last month, because I'm effectively the tech character in the squad anyway as an infiltrator, and I already have my Savant X. It didn't remove the player base one, so that's still there. So that's probably all that matters, because I don't tend to take anyone that's anyone else has got tech powers, because I've already got that covered as far as unlocks and stuff like Overlord's concerned. My usual two companions tend to be Ashley for sheer brute force soldier, if not Rex for just ridiculous melee and health regen that he does, and then Liara for the insanity of pure adept biotics and singularity. Okay, so we'll still be, as I said, trying to do 100% game run as much as possible on this run, much like I did with the soldier, just so that I've got a complete set of missions done importing into Mass Effect 2 and 3. Because even though not everything is useful in Mass Effect 2, they actually make a point to make things important that is complete in Mass Effect 3, even if it's just for certain small side missions. It all just enhances the experience. So we'll still be looking to get the mineral side quest done, because that significantly helps resources in general in gathering. I still have to do planet scanning for the most part, but I don't have to go too mental, as it were. Oh, it really doesn't want me to get out of the Mako. Right. Then there should be mineral there just by the main mission that we're doing. Okay, so I know I was talking over what was being said, hence the reason why I've got subtitles on. The characters talking, but I know me and Mush were obviously talking over the speech, but I wanted to at least let it progress on rather than just let it sit there and do nothing while me and Mush were having a conversation. But this mission actually has ties to this character in the sense that Major Kyle is the man you served under if you pick the Ruthless background, because it's on about Torfin. So this mission has unique dialogue for this character because of the link. As a matter of fact, when you introduce yourself to these, you have the option to say, I was with Major Kyle, I know him.
I'm on it.
Okay, so we'll
En route.
This is a private sanctuary. Outsiders are not welcome here.
I need to talk to the man in charge. It's important.
Father Kyle wants nothing more to do with the Alliance.
My name is Commander Shepard. Major Kyle knows me. I have to speak to him.
Wait. Father Kyle will speak with you. Head to the building at the far end of the compound. He'll meet you there.
I believe normally you have to use a Paragon or Renegade check in order to ensure that you get an audience without having to shoot up. But it's easier to do if you have the Ruthless background because, of course, you already have ties to him. Now, how you deal with the situation is, of course, entirely up to you. For this character, I could use a Renegade check in order to get my Renegade points, and it could still be resolved with no bloodshed, or there's still Renegade options where I can say, sod this all, I'm going to wipe you all out. So I'll just play it by ear and see how it plays out.
I know you, the Butcher of Torfin. Why have you come here, Shepard? Why can't you leave us alone?
What happened to those other Alliance officers? The ones who came before me?
They wanted to take me away from here. They wanted me to abandon this place, turn my back on my family. They spoke blasphemy. I did what I could to make their end quick and painless. I had no other choice. It was necessary to protect my children. Only I can keep them safe.
The Alliance sent me to bring you in, Major. Can't you see this has gotten out of hand? Don't you understand you are endangering your followers?
I respect that you have come under a banner of peace, but I cannot do as you ask. If you take away their father, my children will be helpless.
If you don't come with me, all your followers will end up dead. What kind of father lets his children die?
No, this was my fault. My children are innocent, pure. Please, I never meant for this to happen. I'm sorry.
Come with me, Major. It's over.
Wait, if my children see you taking me away, they won't understand. They will attack, and you will be forced to kill them all. You have shown me the error of my ways, Commander. Now you must give me time to explain it to them. It is the only way they will understand. Please, give me 1 hour. After that, I will meet the Alliance authorities at the gates of my compound and surrender without violence. I give you my word.
I think it would be better if you came with me now, Major.
I must do everything I can to keep any more of my children from suffering. This is the only solution.
I'm gonna trust you. If you betray that trust, you and all your children will suffer.
I will not betray you, Commander. Thank you for this.
Joker can have the 5th Fleet pick Major Kyle up. I just hope you know what you're doing, Commander.
Okay, so I can still get a Renegade speech check bonus and get the points for it, but resolve it without violence. So, yeah, works for me. Quite everything else we need here, so we can head back to the Normandy and move on to the next one. So, usual thing like I did on the last playthrough, I will simply do whatever side missions I have available at any given time. And once they're done, I will move on to whatever the main mission is. This first one I always get Liara first, and just get that out of the road, and then I've got the complete set of companions available, and then we move on to their unusual readings. Go to the Hydra system and the Argus Row cluster to investigate.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Admiral Hackett here, Commander. Your helmsman just forwarded your report on Major Kyle. We sent in a team as you instructed. Kyle's followers have disbanded, and the Major surrendered to us without incident. We'll make sure he gets the help he needs. To be honest, Shepard, I thought this thing was going to end in a bloodbath. I don't know how you did it, but you saved a lot of lives. Congratulations.
Okay, I know what this mission is. Nice and simple, this one. Right.
Commander, urgent message from Alliance Command coming in. I'll patch it through.
Shepard, this is Admiral Hackett from Alliance Command. We've got a situation here, and you're the only one that can handle it.
How come every time there's a problem, you end up running to me?
You're a Spectre, Shepard. And this isn't some run-of-the-mill mission. There's an Alliance training ground where we test weapons and technology in live fire simulations. One of the VIs we use to simulate enemy tactics in the drills is no longer responding to our override commands. It's gone rogue.
Are you telling me this computer is thinking on its own?
We're not stupid, Shepard. This is a virtual intelligence, not a true AI. It's not self-aware, and it can't access any external systems. We didn't do anything illegal here. Virtual intelligence support is critical to our military success. VIs process thousands of status reports and react in nanoseconds. No human can do that. We need you to fight your way through the training ground of the VI core and manually disable it.
Don't worry, Admiral. I'll take that thing out.
I know Spectres answer the Council, but you're still human. You're still part of the Alliance military, and right now we need you. The VI controls all the facility's weapons, drones, and automated defenses. You're the only one that can pull this off, Shepard. Good luck.
Okay, so that's the mission that you get on the moon once you reach level 20. But as I'm importing an already existing level 60 character, you get it pretty much straight away, so it's there to do. That's the main thing. Okay, so I'm just looking at my notes. Metgos is the planet that we'll be landing on. It's Krenim. And Sebia. Receiver, yeah, sorry, that's the one. Let's deposit, and then that's, yeah, okay, so then Metgos is the...
Message coming in. Patching it through.
General distress call. The Sacred Angel medical transport. Critical system failure. Losing power. Emergency landing. Argos. Communications failing. Life support and emergency transponder. Won't last. Please hurry.
Okay. Basic mission. This one, land on the planet, stuff to pick up, go to the distress call, determine whether it's a turb or not. Clearly it's a trap. It's not a trap! Why does everybody think it's a trap? Yeah, fairly simple mission to do. Only reason to get out the Mako is to obviously do the more mineral scanning and anomaly scanning, and that's pretty much it. Otherwise, it's a good early mission to get used to the Mako as far as combat's concerned. Only thing is, can't stay outside too long because we've got a health hazard, level 2 hazard. Yeah, there's a mineral on the way to the transponder signal, and we'll just deal with that, and then we can scooch on over to the other mineral as well after the fact. Reckon about axles before even doing anything.
The signal's coming from that down ship.
Shepard. I've got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, there's a trap!
Yeah, all the Star Wars references. Oh, might as well get the Omni-Gel straight back. And last mineral spot is around there. That should cover that then. Strainer system in the Horsehead Nebula. It's got gas deposit, yep. Yeah, there should be a, yep, medallion. Okay, find the Majesty, scan that. Zarwin is the planet. Okay, and I can ignore the debris. I think. Yeah. So I can pretty much go in order of anomaly, camp, which then opens up the map to show where resources are, and then across, and then yeah. Because I'm not interested in getting the debris. I already, as I say, because I've got everything. Plus, there's a Thresher Ball fight that I can avoid having because I don't need the XP.
Securing point.
Okay, so that shows the mineral deposits on the map anyway, so that's fine. So I can just go straight to them without having to refer to my notes now. Okay, that's everything acquired, so then we can go for the actual mission. Just remember what my quick save button was again. Right, Rex is on shotgun, Ash is on assault rifle, and I've got my trusty sniper. And crouch button.
Go, go, go!
Sit down.
I will destroy you! Go, go, go!
On the move. Oh, again with the drop frames and it going into the red. I don't know what's causing it to do that. I've given. I'm actually pretty much on the maximum 6,000 bit rate that's allowed on the majority of these streaming services via Restream. If I'm using the resolution in frames per second, then I'm using 6,000 as the absolute maximum I can do, but it's also the ideal spot for the resolution that I'm working on, and for some reason it's still dropping frames and having connection issues as a result. So I don't know what else I can do. I think I'll just have to raise a ticket with Restream and just say, okay, look, can we go through my report here and just try and figure out what the hell's going wrong? I'm on fiber broadband as well. It's not like my upload speed's suspect. You know, I get 10 meg upload easy. I don't know what the hell's going on. So, apologies if it's kind of flaked out for you a little bit, or it's kind of jumped all over the place, but you know, this is the problems I was having on Sunday for the final part of the Mass Effect 3 playthrough with the soldier, which kind of ruined that stream because I was getting constant disconnects with that one, and the stream got broken up into about 6 different parts. Some of them only going like 3 minutes long before it cut off, and then made a new VOD file altogether. So Spark system in Artemis Tower.
Commander, I'm picking up a signal from the planet's surface. It looks like an automated distress beacon.
Okay, so this is for Kohoku's men. Okay, so it should be straight 3 minerals across the bottom there. Can skip the debris to straight up the anomaly and down to the distress signal, where I'll be forced to do a Threshermore fight because, well, that's what knocks them up anyway.
position.
Okay, last mineral. Right, so that's all the extras we can pick up then. So if we go to the distress signal, as I say, we'll be forced to do a Thresher fight, so can't avoid it. So we'll take that out. In most cases I'll be avoiding them, because I just, like I say, I'm already maxed level, so I don't need the experience. They don't really even give drops either. And even if they did, I wouldn't need them, because obviously I already got all the gear that I need as well, so let's just deal with this. Do a quick save just in case, because they can be cheap bastards. Just like that. Now then, Domination. So yes, that is that's what we call a cheap boss. I don't know if there is crap.
Alliance soldiers. Looks like they were lured here by the distress beacon.
These are Admiral Kahoku's men. We need to tell him what happened here.
Okay. Did a over 6 hour stream today playing Borderlands 2 for the first time. Ah, how did you enjoy it? And also, which character did you pick? Aha, Zero, yes. Have you got an idea what build you're going for at the moment, or are you kind of just playing it by ear? Fair enough. I will say I've got 2 versions of Zero in the game. The one that's like max level already, and not OPA, is my original Zero that I made when I first got Borderlands 2, actually in 2012, and that's on a sniper build. And then the last time I was playing it, and actually the first time I did any streaming at all on Twitch was Borderlands 2, and it was my second Zero character that I've created, which is going to be built around the melee tree. So it's built around constant use of backstabbing. So that one's still actually on playthrough 1 at the moment. That's a one that still needs working on. But yeah, it's a really fun game. Just saying, actually, Mush has been on to confirm that he's got the updated enhanced version of Borderlands 1 as well, so it looks like we'll be firing that up tomorrow night. With at least one other of my mates, if not two as well, so we'll have a full 4-player run through of the original Borderlands, but with the new HD updates and whatnot that's come out today as well. But we'll probably be back on Borderlands 2 at some point as well, because I've got 3 characters that aren't max level yet. So be going through that, and then at some point also pre-sequel. The only disappointing thing, of course, we've learned today is that Borderlands 3 is going to be an initial exclusive to the Epic Game Store for 6 months. My feeling on it is it gives them enough time before it comes out to correct the major issues that people have with EGS. If they can give you an opt-out for data scanning in order for it to effectively comply with GDPR, and also assurances that they're getting rid of the Chinese spyware element of the game store, then I'll happily buy it in September. Yes, it won't have like as many of the features that Steam uses, but honestly, there's not a lot of the Steam use I use, like the services I use. I don't really do much in the way of reviews myself. I like reading the reviews, but I don't really partake in them much myself. You know, the friends tabs there just who's online, but otherwise we mostly just use Discord. But the things that really are egregious with the game store is the spyware nature of the software leaching data, and the fact that I don't have any choice in that, despite the fact that clearly violates EU law as of GDPR of last year. So that needs sorting out. But they've got until September to do it. I need time for them to fix all of that shit. I think I will go and recruit Liara now, and then I think because Liara is going to be more helpful to have if we do the lunar missions, actually. So I think we'll fire up that mission first. Okay, so there's the asteroid. And there's apparently another asteroid. Yep. Yep, and I don't think there's anything else, so it's just straight down there. Therum, where we will acquire Liara.
Commander, I'm picking up some strange readings. Really strange, like off the damn charts. It looks like it's coming from an underground complex a few clicks away from the drop zone.
I've also got a recommendation for you, Davination, actually, for Borderlands 2. I wouldn't necessarily install it now, since this is your first playthrough. So I would reckon get used to playing the game as it is, and you know, experience leveling up to max, and then maybe do the DLC on a playthrough 2 or playthrough 3 to get to level 72. But I'd providing, which I don't know what version you've got, obviously, assuming you've got the Game of the Year edition that's got all of the DLC there. But I would check out something called the unofficial community update patch, which is at version 4.1. It makes some significant changes to the game. There's some bug fixes, but it also does some heavy tweaking of skills on the characters as well, which is actually for the better. So I don't actually play Borderlands 2 now without using that. Although I'm going to have to actually check out to see if it's broken by virtue of today's update. I need to actually double check that myself. But yeah, I'd check that out and recommend that. As I say, not so much now as this is your first playthrough, but maybe something to check out in the future.
Only a fool punches a knapsack in the mouth. We should sneak around and pull its tail.
Oh, he flew. I'm going to ignore the first base because I just don't really need it at all.
All targets down.
Yeah, helps if I click the button. Dumbass. Ah, right, so you haven't actually got the update yet. Right, okay. Yeah, I was actually on late. I was supposed to start at my usual 7 o'clock, but I didn't actually get on until 7:45 because as soon as I launched Steam, it was downloading the updates for Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel, and then there was a bit of a technical hiccup with the Borderlands 1 update because they're not doing an update as such for the original Borderlands 1. It's actually being treated as a separate game entirely. So you've actually got to realistically uninstall the original Borderlands 1, and then it required a few restarts of Steam, but then it picked up that you had it and then gave you another Borderlands install on your list that refers to enhanced, but that had to be installed fresh, so it's a completely different executable and file altogether. This game clearly needed a reduce auto omnigel button. Nice. Oh, one shot at all three. That one didn't even make sense. The one on the left. He should have been too far out. Oh, I'll take the win. Whatever. Okay, quick save there. You have to take most of these out then before they become a problem being a full-blown sniper. Yeah. Ones that snipe at the top with the rockets, they'll be saying farewell before they even start doing any damage. That hurt a bit. Okay. Not too bad so far. Hurry up, slow pokes. Ash, do you want to shoot at the armature and not me? That dude was stuck on the ceiling. Come on, sneak your head around the corner again for us, please. There we are, the art to Sony.
Can you hear me out there? I'm trapped. I need help.
Liara Tassoni, I presume?
Thank the goddess. I did not think anyone would come looking for me. Listen, this thing I'm in is a Prothean security device. I cannot move, so I need you to get me out of it, all right?
How did you end up in there?
I was exploring the ruins when the Geth showed up, so I hid in here. Can you believe that? Geth, beyond the veil! I activated the tower's defenses. I knew the barrier curtains would keep them out. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please!
Your mother is working with Saren. Whose side are you on?
What? I am not on anybody's side. I may be Benezia's daughter, but I'm nothing like her. I have not spoken to her in years. Please, just get me out of here.
There's some kind of repulsion field in the way.
It's a Prothean barrier curtain. I knew it would keep me safe from the Geth. When I turned it on, I must have hit something I wasn't supposed to. I was trapped in here. You must get me out, please.
Any suggestions on how we can help?
There is a control in here that should deactivate this thing. You'll have to find some way past the barrier curtain. That's the tricky part. The defenses cannot be shut off from the outside. I don't know how you'll get in here. Be careful. There is a Krogan with the Geth. They have been trying different ways to get past the barrier.
I'm forgetting something obvious here, aren't I? Because I should have been one-shotting some of these Geth. I've probably not put on the tungsten ammo. Let me correct that. No, I haven't. Now I'll do some damage.
How did you get in here? I didn't think there was any way past the barrier.
We blasted through with the mining laser.
Of course. Yes, that makes sense. Please, get me out of here before more Geth arrive. That button over there should shut down this containment field.
Any idea how we get out of this place?
There is an elevator back in the center of the tower. At least I think it's an elevator. It should take us out of here. Come on! I still cannot believe all this. Why would the Geth come after me? Do you think Benezia's involved?
Saren's looking for the conduit. Think fast, Miss Prothean expert.
The conduit? But I don't know...
What the hell was that?
These ruins are not stable. That mining laser must have triggered a seismic event. We have to hurry. The whole place is caving in.
Joker, get the Normandy airborne and lock in on my signal. On the double, mister!
Aye, aye, Commander. Secure and away. ETA 8 minutes.
Gonna be close, Skipper.
If I die in here, I'll kill him.
We don't have time to deal with this idiot. Charge!
My Like your attitude.
I'm assuming Rex got him there then.
Too close, Commander. 10 more seconds we would have been swimming in molten sulfur. The Normandy isn't equipped to land in exploding volcanoes. They tend to fry our sensors and melt our hull. Just for future reference.
We almost died out there, and your pilot is making jokes?
Sometimes Joker's a real ass. Just try to ignore him.
I see. It must be a human thing. I don't have a lot of experience dealing with your species, Commander. But I am grateful to you. You saved my life back there, and not just from the volcano. Those Geth would have killed me or dragged me off to Saren.
What did Saren want with you? Do you know something about the conduit?
Only that it was somehow connected to the Prothean extinction. That is my real area of expertise. I have spent the past 50 years trying to figure out what happened to them.
Just how old are you exactly?
I hate to admit it, but I am only 106.
Damn! I hope I look that good when I'm your age.
A century may seem like a long time to a short-lived species like yours, but among the Asari I am barely considered more than a child. That is why my research has not received the attention it deserves. Because of my youth, other Asari scholars tend to dismiss my theories on what happened to the Protheans.
Did your research turn up anything interesting?
What is interesting is what I did not turn up. There is remarkably little archaeological evidence of the Protheans, and even less that might explain why they disappeared. It is almost as if someone did not want the mystery solved. It is like someone came along after the Protheans were gone and cleansed the galaxy of clues. But here is the incredible part. According to my findings, the Protheans were not the first galactic civilization to mysteriously vanish. This cycle began long before them.
Where'd you come up with this theory? I thought there wasn't any evidence.
I have been working on this for 50 years. I have tracked down every scrap and shred of evidence. Eventually, subtle patterns start to emerge, patterns that hint at the truth. It is difficult to explain to someone else. I cannot point to one specific thing to prove my case. It is more a feeling derived from a half-century of dedicated research. But I know I'm right, and eventually I will be able to prove it. There were other civilizations before the Protheans. This cycle has repeated itself many times over.
What cycle? What are you talking about?
The galaxy is built on a cycle of extinction. Each time a great civilization rises up, it is suddenly and violently cast down. Only ruins survive. The Protheans rose up from a single world until their empire spanned the entire galaxy. Yet even they climbed to the top on the remains of those who came before. Their greatest achievements, the mass relays and the Citadel, are based on the technology of those who came before them. And then, like all the other forgotten civilizations throughout galactic history, the Protheans disappeared. I have dedicated my life to figuring out why.
They were wiped out by a race of sentient machines, the Reapers.
The Reapers? But I have never heard of. How do you know this? What evidence do you have?
There was a damaged Prothean beacon on Eden Prime. It burned a vision into my brain. I'm still trying to sort out what it all means.
Visions. Yes, that makes sense.
The beacons were designed to transmit information directly into the mind of the user. Finding one that still works is extremely rare. No wonder the Geth attacked Eden Prime. The chance to acquire a working beacon, even a badly damaged one, is worth almost any risk. But the beacons were only programmed to interact with Prothean physiology. Whatever information you received would have been confused, unclear. I am amazed you were able to make sense of it at all. A lesser mind would have been utterly destroyed by the process. You must be remarkably strong-willed, Commander.
This isn't helping us find Saren, or the conduit.
Of course, you're right. I am sorry, my scientific curiosity got the better of me. Unfortunately, I do not have any information that could help you find the conduit, or Saren.
I don't know why Saren wanted you out of the picture, but I think we'll be a lot better off if we bring you along.
Thank you, Commander. Saren might come after me again. I cannot think of anywhere safer than here on your ship. And my knowledge of the Protheans might be useful later on.
And her biotics will come in handy when the fighting starts.
Good to have you on the team, Liara.
Thank you, Commander. I am very grateful. Oh, I am afraid I am feeling a bit lightheaded.
When was the last time you ate, or slept? Dr. Chakwa should take a look at you.
It is probably just mental exhaustion, coupled with the shock of discovering the Protheans' true fate. I need some time to process all this. Still, it could not hurt to be examined by a medical professional. It will give me the chance to think things over. Are we finished here, Commander?
Go see the doctor. The rest of you, dismissed.
Mission reports are filed, Commander. You want me to patch you through to the Council?
Patch him through, Joker.
Setting up the link now, Commander.
Received your report, Commander. I understand, Dr.
I assume you're taking the necessary security precautions.
Don't tell me how to do my job.
You are free to act as you see fit, Commander. Our role is to offer guidance and advice.
It's up to you if you're smart enough to listen.
I don't need this.
Communications cut, Commander.
Yes, when doing a Renegade playthrough, disconnecting the Council is kind of a thing. Kind of a regular thing, anyway.
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Agincourt. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
How'd you end up on the Normandy?
I got my officer's commission after Elysium. Must have made an impression on the right people. Captain asked for me when he was picking his crew.
Carry on, Presley.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so nothing else to do here. Seem to be burning through the missions more efficiently than I was the last time, certainly.
Message coming in. Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, my name is Nasana Dantius. I have a job for you. I can't say any more in an unsecured communication. If you're interested in hearing my offer, meet me on the Citadel so we can talk in person. I'll be waiting in the Diplomat's Lounge on the Presidium.
Okay, so if we do the run around and talk with folks.
I never properly thanked you for saving me from the Geth, Commander. If you hadn't shown up...
I'm just glad we got there in time.
So am I. I know you took a chance bringing me aboard this ship. I have seen the way your crew looks at me. They do not trust me. But I am not like Benezia. I will do whatever I can to help you stop Saren. I promise.
Don't worry, Liara. I trust you. I know you won't let me down.
It means a lot to hear you say that, Commander. Thank you.
Do you know why Benezia joined up with Saren?
I don't understand it. She was always outspoken about the need for the Asari to become more involved in shaping galactic events. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for the greater good in the long run. At least I hope so.
Any chance she's in this for power or personal gain?
No, not the Benezia I knew. But I hadn't spoken with my mother in many years. She may have changed.
I'd like to know more about the Asari.
We were the first species to discover the Citadel. We were instrumental in forming the Council, and we always strive to be the voice of peaceful cooperation in galactic disputes. My people believe we are all part of a single galactic community. Each species contributes something to the greater whole. Although we seek to understand other species, it seems few of them seek to understand us. The galaxy is filled with rumors and misinformation about my people.
Like what?
Most of the inaccuracies are centered around our mating rituals. My species is monogendered. Male and female have no real meaning for us. We still require a partner to reproduce. This second parent, however, may be of any species and any gender.
I don't understand. Your species can mate with anyone?
Mating is not quite the proper term, not as you understand it. Physical contact may or may not be involved, but it is not an essential element of the union. The true connection is mental. Our physiology allows us to meld with other beings. We can touch the very depths of their minds. We explore the genetic memory of their species. We share the most basic elements of their individual and racial identities. We then pass these traits onto our daughters. It is how we learn to grow as a species and how we develop a greater understanding of other races.
What happens to your partner after the union?
Every relationship is different. Some unions are a single encounter with both parents parting ways afterwards. Others can be more long-term. Sometimes an Asari and her partner will stay together for many decades.
You Asari live for 1,000 years. What happens when your partner dies?
Few sapient species live as long as my kind. We have learned to take a philosophical approach to our unions. We do not focus on the inevitable loss of our partners. Instead, we enjoy the time we spend with them. And even after they're gone, a part of them lives on in us. The union is a connection that transcends both time and space.
Do you know who Matriarch Benezia chose as her partner?
She rarely spoke of her partner. Though I know my father, if you want to use that term, was another Asari.
Benezia never told you her partner's name?
Union with our own kind is no longer common, not for the purposes of reproduction. Most Asari believe it weakens our species. Asari daughters inherit racial traits from the father species. If both parents are Asari, then nothing has been gained, or so conventional wisdom would hold. I am what is sometimes called a pureblood. Though no Asari would ever be cruel enough to say the word to my face, it is a great insult among my people. It is possible Benezia's partner was embarrassed by their union. She may have been too ashamed to publicly acknowledge me as her offspring.
Maybe she wanted to meet you but couldn't. Something could have happened to her. Maybe she passed away.
You might be right. I hope you are. But I have no way to know for sure. Benezia never spoke of her partner. Whatever happened, it caused her too much pain to dwell on it. She raised me by herself, though that is not uncommon. Many Asari raise their children alone, particularly if the father species is short-lived. Often the partner will pass on long before the child reaches maturity.
Do you know why Benezia
I don't
told her?
understand. Maybe she thought allying herself with Saren would somehow be for
Any
the...
chance she's in
No,
this?
not the Benezia I knew. But I hadn't spoken with my mother in many years.
Tell me about yourself, Liara.
Me? I am afraid I am not very interesting, Commander. I spend most of my time on remote digs, unearthing mundane items buried in long-forgotten Prothean ruins.
Sounds dangerous. And lonely.
Sometimes I would run afoul of indigenous life forms or stumble across a small band of mercenaries or privateers. But I was always careful. Until the Geth followed me to Artemis Tau. I never found myself in any situation my biotics could not handle. As for the solitude, well, that is one aspect that most appealed to me. Sometimes I just need to get away from other people.
You don't like other people?
I suppose it comes from being a matriarch's daughter. People expected me to follow in Benezia's footsteps. They wanted me to become a leader of our people. Matriarchs guide their followers into the future. They seek the truth of what is yet to come. Maybe that's why I became so interested in the secrets of the past. It sounds so foolish when I say it out loud. It sounds like I became an archaeologist simply to spite Benezia.
All children rebel against their parents. It's a natural part of growing up.
Aha, you share the wisdom of the matriarch, Shepard. That is exactly what Benezia said when I told her of my decision. But there was more to it than that. I felt drawn to the past. The Protheans were these wondrous, mysterious figures. I wanted to know everything about them. That is why I find you so fascinating. You were marked by the beacon on Eden Prime. You were touched by working Prothean technology.
Sounds like you want to dissect me in a lab somewhere.
What? No! I did not mean to insinuate. I never meant to offend you, Shepard. I only meant that you would be an interesting specimen for an in-depth study. No, that's even worse.
Calm down, Liara. I was only joking.
Joking? Oh, by the goddess, how could I be so dense? You must think I am a complete and utter fool. Now you know why I prefer to spend my time in the field with data disks and computers. I always seem to say something embarrassing around other people. Please, just pretend this conversation never happened.
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Liara embarrassing herself.
Commander, do you have a minute?
What's on your mind, Lieutenant?
Off the record, I think there's something wrong here. This Saren is looking for records on some kind of galactic extinction, but we can't get backup from the Council? Sorry, Commander. There's writing on the wall here, but someone isn't reading it.
We've got our orders. Bellyaching won't change them.
I hear you. It just seems like a group that's been around as long as the Council should see this coming. I mean, it's funny, we finally get out here, and the final frontier was already settled, and the residents don't even seem impressed by the view. Or the dangers.
Well, well. You're a romantic. Did you sign on for the dream, Malenko? Secure a man's future in space?
Yeah, I read a lot of those books when I was a kid, where the hero goes to space to prove himself worthy of a woman he loves, or, you know, for justice. Maybe I was a romantic in the beginning, but I thought about it after brain camp. Biotic acclimation and temperance training. I'm not looking for the dream. I just want to do some good. See what's out here. Sorry if I got too informal. Protocol wasn't a big focus back in Bot.
I trust you won't have any questions when whatever's coming hits the fan?
None. I'm not questioning the mission. I'm just concerned. Sorry to have wasted your time, ma'am. It won't happen again. Anything you need, Commander?
What's your opinion on the last mission?
Dr. Tassoni. She seems nice enough. Hard to believe she's older than both of us put together.
Any intentions there, Lieutenant?
No, Commander. Just art appreciation.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Commander?
Why did you want to be a C-Sec officer in the first place?
That's a good question. There were several reasons, I guess.
Like what?
Probably the same as most officers. I wanted to fight injustice, wanted to help people. I guess my father had something to do with it too. He was C-Sec, one of the best. I grew up hearing about his accomplishments or seeing his picture on the vids after a big arrest. He's taking my resignation pretty hard.
He's not impressed that you're going after Saren?
My father's a C-Sec man to the bone. Do things right or don't do them at all, he says. He thinks I'm being too rash, too impatient. He's worried I'll become just like Saren. He actually talked me out of becoming a Spectre when I was younger, for the same reasons.
You were asked to be a Spectre?
Well, I was targeted as a possible Spectre candidate. Me and about 1,000 other Turian military recruits. I could have received special training, but my father didn't like it. He despises the Spectres. He hates the idea of someone having unlimited power with no accountability. He wouldn't like you, Commander. No offense.
Spoken like a true C-Sec officer.
Yeah, it's a speech I've heard one too many times. But Saren's not going to play by our rules, C-Sec's rules. If you want to nail Saren, you need to send someone who isn't restricted by policies and procedures.
You're a quick learner, Garrus. We'll beat him at his own game. It's the only way to stop someone like him.
I'm right behind you, Commander.
Commander?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Not sure I buy Dr. Tassoni's story about her and her mom not talking. They're family, right?
I think she's being straight with us. Or at least I don't think she lies very often.
Yeah, she's probably really bad at it. Hey, want me to ask her about her sex life? Might be illuminating.
I don't think she's used to teasing, good-natured or otherwise.
No fun, Commander. Too bad those ruins got destroyed. I mean, they lasted thousands of years. That's impressive.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
Sure. I was hoping to get a minute of your time off the record.
Is this duty-related, Chief?
No, ma'am. Well, maybe. I know things are different aboard the Normandy, but I'm concerned about the aliens, Vicarian and Rex. With all due respect, Commander, should they have full access to the ship?
You don't trust their motives because they're not human.
This is the most advanced ship in the Alliance Navy. I don't think we should give them free rein to poke around the vital systems. Engines, sensors, weapons.
I share your concerns, Chief, but I'm under orders.
Under orders to let aliens gather military intelligence? I can't believe that was the Alliance's intention. We, humanity, I mean, have to learn to rely on ourselves.
How do you get from relying on ourselves to mistreating our allies?
I don't mean we should mistreat them, Commander. I just think we should be prepared to go it without them. As noble as the Council members seem now, if their backs are against the wall, they'll abandon us.
Yeah, the Council's had a grudge against us since the first Contact War.
I don't think it's a grudge. I think it's... Look, if you're fighting a bear and the only way for you to survive is to sick your dog on it and run, you'll do it. As much as you love your dog, it isn't human. It's not racism, not really. Members of their species will always be more important to them than humans are.
These seem like deeply held beliefs, Williams. What made you think this way?
My family's defended the Alliance since it was founded. My father, grandfather, great-grandmother, they all picked up a rifle and swore the oath of service. I guess we just tend to think of Earth's interests as our own.
It doesn't sound like you've worked with aliens before.
No, ma'am. Mainly I've been groundside, part of the surface garrison forces. I did get a rotation on a space station for training. Every Marine a rifleman, every rifleman ZG certified.
Guess you make a habit of second-guessing your superiors.
No, ma'am.
I never knew my family. Grew up an orphan on Earth. Anybody in your family I'd have heard of?
Couldn't say, Commander. So why are you out here? Just trying to get away from Earth?
I'm here to put hypervelocity rounds through the heads of bad guys.
Most satisfying part of the job, Commander.
Alright, I can see where your concerns are coming from, Williams. But this is a multilateral mission. You're gonna have to work with aliens, like it or not.
It won't be a problem, Commander. You say jump, I say how high. You tell me to kiss a Turian, I'll ask which cheek.
I'm glad there won't be a problem.
Anything else you need, Commander?
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Okay, that's actually caught up. I've got the R-Respect up with gear.
So, we've got Saren on the run.
It won't be long now. Saren's good, but I'm better.
Good? He's rotten. To the core. I could tell as soon as I met him.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner?
I would have if I thought it was important.
I'll decide what's important. Now tell me how you know Saren.
This was a while ago. A bunch of mercs were bragging about a job out near the edges of the Terminus systems. They said it paid well and the boss was never around to ride them. They said he was looking for more men, too. So I checked it out.
I didn't know Saren was openly recruiting mercs.
It wasn't that open, and he only showed his face once. We'd been raiding ships in the area for months when we took out this massive cargo freighter. Our biggest haul yet. I was on board checking bodies for valuables, looking for some extra credits. That's when I saw him.
What did Saren want with the ship?
I don't know what he wanted. He was just moving through the ship, watching. A couple of the mercs called him by name, but he never spoke to them. Never spoke to anyone. I had a really bad feeling about him, so I got the hell out. Didn't even wait to get paid.
What kind of cargo was the freighter carrying? What was Saren after?
I don't know. All I saw on that ship was food and medical supplies. There were some basic weapons, but nothing big. If there was anything of value on that ship, I didn't see it. That's why I didn't mention it sooner.
Whose ship was it?
There was a Volus trading vessel. Big one. Lots of guards. But they were no match for us.
That's the only time you saw him?
Yeah. Didn't even know who he was. Still wouldn't if I hadn't joined up with you. But my instincts were right. Every other merc on that mission turned up dead within a week. Every damn one.
So long, Rex.
Shepard.
Oh, hello, Shepard.
Are you okay?
I don't know. Your ship is amazing, and your crew's been really great to me. Especially your chief engineer. But I just sort of feel out of place. The Normandy runs so smooth it feels like we're not even moving. And the engines are so quiet. How do you sleep at night?
The silence wakes you up?
Back on the flotilla, the last thing you want to hear is silence. It means an engine's died or an air filter shut down. I guess you don't have to worry about that here. But old habits die hard. But it's more than just a silence. This ship feels so empty. It's like half the crew is missing. Back home, I couldn't wait to go on my pilgrimage. I couldn't wait to get away from the crowds. Now that I'm out here, I kind of miss them.
Sounds like the pilgrimage isn't just about finding resources for the fleet. Maybe it's about teaching you to appreciate your people and culture.
You're probably right. We Quarians spend our whole lives traveling, but really we never leave home. The pilgrimage has given me a whole new perspective on our culture. You know, there's always a few who go on their pilgrimages and never return. I always assumed something bad happened to them, but maybe they just wanted a different life.
You do plan to return to the migrant fleet, right?
I could never abandon my people, Shepard. I will go back eventually, but we have to stop Saren first. Otherwise, I might not have a home to go back to.
I should go.
See you later.
Okay, so, that's everyone caught up with talking-wise, other than Joker. So we'll head out to the Citadel, kind of do the rounds. It should open up a load of side missions. Then we can head back out to the galaxy.
I prefer gold to silver, you know, for my medal. I figured you'd recommend me for one since I pulled your boots out of the fire.
Saving my boots from burning lava is part of your job, Joker. We don't give medals to soldiers for doing their jobs.
That figures. Just get me a nice card and a cake. No coconut, though. I hate that crap. So, Commander, why don't you tell me why you're really here?
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
I like to know my crew. Mind if I ask you a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
I can't have you on this ship if you're going to infect my crew.
Infect the crew? Oh man, you have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter. Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack! It's very dramatic, but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
I need to know more about this Vrolik syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures, hip, thighs, ankles. My bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Whatever you want, Commander.
Why does everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
I was just thinking how much you remind me of Santa Claus.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy. Even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
How'd you end up joining the Alliance?
Look, if you're looking for an inspirational tale of the crippled kid overcoming impossible odds, you're gonna be disappointed. My mother was a civilian contractor working for the Alliance. I basically grew up on the Arcturus station back when they were building up the fleets. Spend all that time around Alliance ships, there's a good chance you'll end up going to the Academy.
I have to go.
Alright, see ya.
Yeah, so I pretty much exhaust all the stuff you can get out of Joker anyway.
Equalizing interior pressure with exterior atmosphere.
Right, Liara, we'll level up. Don't need electronics up as much because I've got that covered.
Logged. The commanding officer is ashore. Exo Presley has the deck.
Tin Hut!
At ease. Rear Admiral Mihailovic, 5th Fleet.
Commander Shepard, SSV Normandy.
You don't know who I am, do you, Commander? I command the 63rd Scout Flotilla. You and the Normandy were slated for my unit after shakedown. Then the Council got their paws, claws, tentacles, whatever. They got them on our ship, and you.
I wasn't keen on it either, but there are advantages to being above the law.
Don't let the title go to your head. No one's above the law. I don't begrudge the politician's decision to throw you to the Council. It's an opportunity. I do begrudge this over-designed piece of tin, though.
You don't approve of the Normandy's design?
This experiment diverted billions from our appropriations bills. For the same price, we could have had a heavy cruiser. But no, we had to make nice to the Turians, throw money at a co-developed boondoggle. I'm here to make an inspection, Commander. Normandy is an Alliance warship. I intend to see she's up to snuff.
I'm sure you'll find everything in order, Admiral.
I'll just bet. Wait here. I won't be long. Commander, I'm not happy.
Sounds like a fairly common situation.
Commander, I suggest you secure your mouth. It's going to get you in trouble. Who designed that CIC? Putting the commander aft of everyone else is inefficient. What if he needs to discuss with the operators toward the bow?
There are no amateurs on this crew. They know to keep idle chatter minimized during combat. And I can bellow with the best DIs.
A fair point. I suppose the design has no chance of becoming standard. No need to worry about a generation of recruits learning things backwards. I had to shake my head at that drive core of yours. 120 billion credits of element 0 to make this thing able to move without giving itself away. You realize we could make drive cores for 12,000 fighters with that money? What good is it to hide for a few hours anyway? Useless.
Men of limited vision said the same thing about early aircraft, submarines, and tanks.
There's two ways I could take that, Commander, but that is true. I suppose the early U-boats weren't much better. And we need to talk about your crew, Commander. Krogan? Asari? Turians? What are you thinking, Commander? You can't allow alien nationals free access to Alliance equipment?
I'm Normandy's commanding officer. The regs state I have the authority to say who does and doesn't come aboard. If you disagree, send a complaint up the chain of command.
Sophistry, Commander. You know I'm right. You want them on board that bad? Fine. Don't quote regs at me. You have anything else to say, Commander? Any other justifications for the state of this vessel?
We showed the Council something they hadn't thought of with our fighter carriers. You may disapprove of Normandy, but she's just another way we're outthinking them.
That assumes Normandy's technologies can become practical in the future. I'm not convinced Normandy isn't a waste of taxpayer money, but I am convinced that you believe otherwise, and that you'll use it to its best ability. I'll be submitting a report to the Joint Military Council. It will not be as negative as I'd planned. Good hunting, Commander Shepard. Make us proud.
We were slightly dickish with them, but we still got through a full Renegade check, so he'll be eventually a war asset when we get to Mass Effect 3.
So, Liara, you've spent 50 years studying Prothean ruins and artifacts.
Our travels now are somewhat different from my normal excavations. I would prefer lengthier studies and fewer explosions.
I think you've spoken for scientists everywhere, Liara.
Do I punch her? Do I punch her? I don't normally punch her in the first game, but the subsequent games she does get punched.
Khaleesa Bint-Sina in Al-Jalani, Westerland News. Would you answer a few questions for our viewers?
What sort of questions?
People back home have heard a lot of wild stories about you, Commander. I can give you the chance to set the record straight. What do you say?
So long as you understand that I may not be able to answer all questions.
I'm sure our viewers will understand. Humans have been trying to get the respect of the galactic community for 26 years. With that in mind, what are your feelings on being the first human Spectre?
We all know it should have happened years ago. I hope the Council realizes that we won't sit at the kids' table forever.
Some believe that without firm action on our part, the Council will continue to treat us like poor relations. Have you encountered any situations where the Citadel asked you to place its needs before the needs of Earth?
I think they know not to ask me to work against my own people.
I think our viewers will be glad to hear that, Commander. You've been given command of an advanced human warship for your missions. Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
The Normandy is a triumph of human engineering. Like our development of fighter carriers, it shows other races that we're able to think outside the box.
That's gratifying. Many defeatist officers claim that the Alliance can't compete with the naval power of, say, the Turians. Do you think it was appropriate to hand Earth's most advanced warship over to the Citadel?
Miss Al-Jalani, I wear the Alliance uniform, and if you think anyone other than me says where the Normandy can go, you're sadly mistaken.
No offense intended, Commander. I'm sure you have to follow the orders of your superiors. Of course, now your superiors are aliens. One last question, Commander. Rumors back home say you're tracking a rogue Spectre named Saren. Do you have any comment on that?
I'm afraid I can't comment on whatever my current assignment may or may not be.
Don't worry, we'll find out. The eyes of Earth are on you. Don't let us down. Thank you for your time, Commander Shepard.
Yeah, we'll let her off this time, but in the future, she gets punched in the face. I go this way to get straight to the Presidium.
Alliance officials have raided a dangerous cult controlled by a former Alliance officer, Major Kyle. Major Kyle surrendered and is now being treated for severe post-traumatic stress disorder.
I heard what happened under the Artemis Tau cluster. The Council wasn't too happy about the destruction of those Prothean ruins.
This isn't a game, Ambassador. Shepard's out there trying to stop Saren from destroying the galaxy.
I know. Just try to be a little more careful. The Council's watching you. and we all get judged on how you behave.
Whatever, Udina. Actually, I'm not going to talk to Anderson just yet. I'll probably come here a little bit early, because I need to see Dr. Michelle and then get the whole thing with Baines started. But since I'm here, I can certainly pick up the mission from Nasana Dantius.
Commander Shepard, I am Nasana Dantius. I see you got my message.
You said you had a job offer.
I do. My sister Dahlia is a crewman on the cargo vessel operating out beyond the fringes of the Traverse. Her ship was attacked by privateers. There were no reported survivors.
You want me to hunt down the people who killed her?
This is where it gets complicated. Last week, I received a message with her voice on it. Dahlia is alive. The rest of the crew was killed, but she was taken prisoner. The slavers demanded a huge ransom from me in exchange for returning her unharmed.
Why didn't the raiders kill Dahlia along with everyone else?
My sister probably told them who she was. My family's very wealthy, Shepard. They must have realized she was worth more to them alive.
You can't negotiate with criminals.
It's too late. I transferred the funds to the account they specified. Only they never released her. They haven't contacted me since. I've made a terrible mistake, Shepard. I'm a diplomatic emissary. By law, I'm required to report any attempted extortion to CSEC immediately. But I was afraid for Dahlia, so I just paid the ransom. Now she's still missing. And if anyone finds out what I did, I could end up in jail.
Why would they put you in jail? You're the victim here.
Government representatives on the Citadel are not allowed to negotiate with terrorists. It's too dangerous. Paying a ransom would only encourage more kidnappings. I support the law in theory, but when I got the message, all I could think about was Dahlia's safety. I doubt they would actually send me to prison for what I did, but they would strip me of my post, and Dahlia would still be in the hands of the slavers.
You want me to find her and bring her back?
You only need to bring her back. I've already found her for you. I tracked the ransom payment through several accounts. Eventually, it led to a small mercenary band operating out of the Artemis Tau cluster. I need you to go to the Merc base, take them out, and bring my sister back. You shall be well rewarded.
Anything you can tell me about the mercs who have your sister?
Pretty much what you'd expect. Rough, dangerous, and well-armed. Nothing a Spectre cannot handle, though.
How'd you find out who was behind the ransom?
I have resources. Contacts and credits can go a long way, especially if you're willing to bend the rules. I already broke the law when I paid the ransom. This couldn't make things any worse.
Don't worry. I'll bring your sister back.
Thank you, Shepard. I knew you were the right woman for the job. Come back and see me when the job is done.
Yeah, well, we kind of already know how that turns out. But still, plenty of things to shoot.
To tell me what my husband would want.
I'm the only person making sense right now. You're endangering your baby.
This baby is the only thing I have left of Jake. I don't care what you think, Michael. It's my decision.
I know you're hurting, Rebecca, but don't let your grief hurt your baby too.
Is this man harassing you, ma'am?
Perhaps you can talk some sense into her.
I don't need anyone to talk sense into me, Michael. I'm not undergoing the treatments.
My sister-in-law here is pregnant, and she's refused to let the baby undergo gene therapy in utero.
I thought gene therapy was common.
My husband Jacob died from a rare heart condition several months ago.
There's a chance that the baby could develop the same heart condition, but routine gene therapy can eliminate it.
A very small chance, Michael. And extranet reports say the therapy could harm the child.
It's less dangerous than the genetic enhancements that every soldier in the Alliance receives.
What are the chances that your child will develop the heart condition?
According to the doctors, there's a 1 in 50 chance. And if my baby develops the condition, medical treatments are available.
Which are nowhere near as effective as simply getting the gene therapy.
What are the chances that gene therapy could hurt the baby?
1 in 300 at most.
But extranet articles say there could still be long-term complications we don't know about. Don't you understand? If my baby is that 1 in 300, I will always wonder if I killed my baby for nothing.
It's Rebecca's child, Michael. I think you should honor her decision.
Damn it, she's not choosing. She's acting blindly out of grief.
Of course she is. So are you. Yelling at her will not bring your brother back.
How dare you? I'm trying to do what's best for the baby.
You're afraid you'll lose the baby just like you lost your brother.
This baby is the only thing my brother... It's all I have left of him. I need to know that the baby's safe.
It's all I have left too, Michael.
I just want Jacob's child to be safe. I want to give him that much.
We will. I promise. Thank you for talking with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I can get that done still with Renegade. Check.
Got a moment, Spectre? Hello, Spectre. I have a business proposition for you.
I've got plenty to do already.
Of course you do. But this would be easy work for you, and I pay extremely well. I'm acquainted with a pair of powerful crime bosses. They're hiding on remote worlds, and I have the coordinates. You could do the galaxy a favor.
What crimes did these men commit?
They're red sand dealers who make victims of their customers. Those who can no longer pay are sold to Batarians as slaves. They're loathsome, hurting innocent people. They must be ended.
What kind of defenses would these two have?
I haven't the faintest idea, but they're certain to be armed. Their partnership's soured, and each believes that the other intends to kill him. They will be well prepared.
And what do you get out of this?
We share interests in certain cooperative ventures. But their business practices have forced me to terminate our relationship. Once they are dead, I will manage our organization in a more tasteful manner.
If they're as bad as you say they are, they need to be dealt with.
Excellent. Here are the coordinates. When these men are dead, I will wait for you at the third set of coordinates. Goodbye, Commander. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
Commander. Show me your items.
Okay, just checking at the store, make sure there's none of the grenade and Metagel expansions.
I need those supplies for my clinic. I can't.
You can and you will, or your story won't stay secret for long. Don't disappoint me, Doctor.
Oh, Commander Shepard. I didn't see you come in.
Every time I come in here, I see someone threatening you. Who was that?
Someone from my past. I can take care of it.
Just tell me what's going on.
I was fired by my previous employer for giving out free medical supplies to clinics like this. They never filed any charges. They just wanted me to leave without any fuss. But somebody must have found out. Now they're blackmailing me. I have to give them what they want. If the board finds out about my past, I could lose my license. They'll shut my clinic down.
Maybe I can get you out of this. Tell me what they want.
I have to give some of my medical supplies to a merchant in the markets. They expect delivery today.
Give me your contact's name. I'll deal with this guy, whoever he is.
Deal with him? But won't they expose my past?
They won't bother you again. I guarantee it.
I see. Maybe it's better if I don't know anymore. I was told to speak with a merchant named Morlan, down in the markets. I really appreciate this, Commander. Thank you.
Don't worry. I'll take care of this.
Good luck, Commander. Be careful down there.
I think there'll be the cheating Solarian here. Yep.
Yeah, what is it?
Seems the owner didn't like the way you played their games.
Doran didn't have a clue what I was doing. He assumed I was cheating.
But you were cheating, were you not?
I was just tipping the scales in my favor. Only as an experiment.
Still sounds like cheating to me.
To you, maybe. But this device is merely intended to simulate situations and record results. Recording losses is easy, of course. Nobody notices those.
Why do you need to record these outcomes?
Ah, now you're getting to the heart of it. I've spent the last 5 years developing a system that can accurately predict wins and losses on the Quasar. I just need a few more recorded wins and I can complete the algorithms.
Can you do that? Isn't that illegal?
It's illegal to use my system, but I won't use it. I'll sell it to others. I just need a few more wins recorded.
Does the device help me win?
The device is set to emit a frequency that will slightly increase your odds. Nothing like my system eventually will, but enough to allow you to record your wins more quickly.
What's in this for me?
Keep your winnings. That should be payment enough, I think.
I'll help you out.
Huh. I suppose I could let you try it. Here you go. When you've recorded enough wins, it'll let you know. Of course, if you get caught with the device, well, you saw what happened to me. Well, off you go. That data won't collect itself.
Yeah, I don't think the bounce is going to do much against a Spectre.
Hey, Jenna came back looking for work. Thanks for getting her out of Cora's den.
I was glad to help out.
Yeah, everyone seems real happy to have her back.
I sense that you are less than pleased with her return.
I'm glad she's out of the den. I'd just forgotten what it was like to have her around. I haven't had a decent tip since she got back.
Okay, since this is my Renegade,
Don't often see someone getting as lucky as you. Your luck seems unnatural, human.
Okay, so we'll just hand this back to Shell and get some payment, and that's a Renegade mission done.
So, did you record 5 wins with the device yet?
Here you go. I hope it's what you're looking for.
Excellent indeed. This will provide me with invaluable data. You enjoy those winnings. I'm gonna get the system completed.
I actually should have gotten some Renegade points for that for some reason. I didn't, but okay.
This isn't a proof of purchase. It's a bank statement to show that I bought something from you, and I bought it. Well, thank you for buying from me, but this still doesn't prove that you purchased.
Welcome back, Earth Clan.
Show me what you got.
Most excellent.
Yeah, there's Conrad.
Hey, Commander Shepard, it's me, Conrad Werner. Remember me? There are rumors on the extranet that you've been made the first human Spectre. That's incredible.
Right, Conrad. We talked a while back.
You remember me? Wow. Guys must try to talk to a lady like you all the time, but you remember me. That really means something. Hey, can I get your picture?
Sure. No problem.
Just hold up your gun. Perfect. Thanks again, Commander. I'm gonna hang this in my living room. My wife will love it.
And next time that this Shepard meets Conrad, she isn't going to be as kind.
Hello there. Welcome to Moorland's famous shop. You want many good supplies, yes?
You were expecting a delivery of medical supplies.
But I was told the doctor would be bringing them.
There's been a change of plans.
A change, but the doctor... This is not right, human.
Shut up, Moorland. I told Baines you'd screw this up. What the hell's going on here? Who are you?
Leave the doctor alone, or you'll have to deal with me.
We can end this if you just bring me those supplies. Otherwise, I'll start telling people about the doctor's little secret.
Her secret stays buried, or I bury you.
Hey, hold on! I'm just the middleman here. This is way more than I bargained for.
Thank you, human. It is good to see him humbled so.
What do you know about Baines?
I have never met him, human. I only worked with the one who spoke with the doctor.
Let me see what you have.
Oh, you will be pleased, I think. Very good things I have. You will see.
Got nothing new there. That's fine. Right, so there should be a contact. Yep, there he is. This is the unique mission for the Earthborn Shepard.
They told me it was you.
but I didn't believe it. Shepard grew up and turned into a soldier.
An impatient soldier. Who are you and why are you in my way?
Name's Finch. You probably don't remember me, but we ran together in the 10th Street Reds. Maybe you don't remember it yourself, running in a gang. None of the vids mention it when they're talking about you.
The vids never tell the whole story. So, what can I do for the Reds?
One of the Reds, Kurt Wiseman, got picked up by Turians. We'd like you to talk to the Turian guard in the bar and get Kurt out.
What was this guy arrested for?
Some stupid minor offense. Maybe he had a little red sand. You know how the Turians are. They declared him a problem, and they're shipping him back for a trial.
What was one of the 10th Street Reds doing in Turian space?
Since your days, the Reds have expanded. We do some salvage, a little shipping here and there, that kind of thing.
You're not asking me to break Wiseman out of jail, are you?
Of course not. But word has it you've got some pull with the aliens. All we're asking you to do is pull a little for us.
I'll talk to the Turian and see what I can do.
Thanks, Shepard. I knew you'd remember your old friends. The guard's over in Cora's den. Take care of this, and you'll never see me again.
We Asari are more accepting of our sexuality than most other species. Some club owners like to exploit this by hiring us as dancers.
Can I help you?
A human named Finch wanted me to use my authority as a Spectre to free Kurt Wiseman.
The xenophobe? I should have known he'd have friends. Thank you for the information. We'll increase the guard on his cell.
I knew you'd rat us out, Shepard. Now it's payback time. When we're through telling our story, the aliens will all know what the first human Spectre really is.
My bio is public record. Everyone knows I ran with gangs as a kid.
They don't know that the Reds target aliens specifically. We've got the backers to handle off-world missions. Your alien friends won't like you so much when they hear what your gang did.
The 10th Street Reds was a gang, not an Earth First movement.
They're a human movement now. You think the vids will make that distinction? I can find a dozen Reds who'll swear they saw you kill aliens for fun. Who's going to believe you then?
You think I care what the aliens think of me, Finch?
But this is your career. You'd throw it all away like that?
I can legally execute everyone in this bar. You think the Council cares about my shady past?
The Spectre has overcome a troubled youth to lead a proud military career. The Turians would not care about such things, and I doubt your lies would fool the Salarians or the Asari.
Fine, Shepard, you're right. You're not one of the Reds. Maybe you never were.
That man is a xenophobe who thinks he can blackmail a Spectre. You should have killed him.
I didn't need target practice. Don't you have a prisoner to guard?
Goodbye, human. It'll be interesting to see what kind of Spectre you turn out to be.
It really means something, yeah. Oh, dear. Spine. Oh, hang on a minute. I can, just use this to go straight over to the med.
Commander, how did things go?
He won't be bothering you anymore.
Really? That's a great relief, Commander. Thank you. I can't pay you for your help, but I can give you a discount on any supplies you purchase here.
The thug said he worked for a man named Baines. Sound familiar?
Baines? I wonder if he means Armiston Baines. We worked together a long time ago.
What can you tell me about him?
Last I heard, the Alliance military was contracting him for some research in the Traverse.
I wonder if the captain knows him.
We'll see what the captain can tell us.
I wish I could tell you more. Is there anything else I can help you with, Commander?
I'll be going now.
Goodbye, Commander. Nice talking to you.
That's dealt with, so we can go to Anderson, talk about Baines, and then that'll take us back to Koku, and we'll carry that storyline along. Alright.
Yes, Commander?
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing, but you're the one who can stop Saren. I believe in you, Shepard. If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
I trusted you. You betrayed me.
It's not something I'm proud of. I had a chance to become the first human Spectre, and I failed. Saren made sure of that.
I think I deserve the whole story.
We had intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned?
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
He was smart. You needed a diversion.
This went way beyond a simple diversion, Commander. The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived. There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians. Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated. Mission accomplished. And I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent? I had a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
The only thing I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the past.
What do you know about Armiston Baines?
Where did you hear that name? Never mind, I don't want to know. Baines is dead. Has been for quite some time.
So why are people talking like he's still alive?
It's not common knowledge. Military is keeping it under wraps. Baines was doing some high-level work for the Alliance. Stuff even I wasn't aware of. One day he turns up dead on a drifting scout ship. Everyone suspects it was foul play, but it was never officially investigated.
This is a cover-up if I ever heard one.
I don't know much about it. You should talk to Admiral Kahoku. One of his crews discovered Bane's body.
I spoke to Kahoku. He never brought it up.
You should mention Baines the next time you see him. See if he'll tell you anything. Is there anything else, Commander?
I should go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Okay, so we've got that covered. Right. We'll take the scenic route to get a Citadel Tower just in case we pick up side missions by announcements being made on the lifts. Just using my sprint to get there quickly, save the time.
In other news, Exogeny Corp is still denying reports that one of their survey teams has gone missing in the Hades Gamma Cluster. When asked why communication with the survey team was suddenly cut off last week, company officials refused to comment.
Okay, so that should be the one where they've all been turned into husks. So we can get that one done as well. Before Ferris.
Any news? Did you find my brother yet?
I found your brother's body. His ship was attacked by privateers.
Willem's dead? I guess I should have expected this. When his ship dropped out of contact, I just knew. But I kept hoping he might still be alive.
False hope doesn't do anybody any good.
Maybe. But sometimes I think false hope is better than no hope at all. Please excuse me. I need to go make arrangements for his funeral.
Right, there's Emily Wong.
Commander Shepard, could I have another word with you? Hello again, Commander. I've got a proposition for you. Since you helped me get information on the crime syndicate, I've gotten a lot more backing from my publishers. I'm investigating traffic controller conditions now, and I wondered if you could help.
What do you want me to do?
I've heard rumors that the space traffic controllers are overworked to a dangerous degree. I can't get into the control room, but you could. If you planted a bug inside, I could crack the story.
Everyone knows space traffic controllers are overworked. How is this news?
There's a difference between overworked and dangerous. Traffic at the Citadel has increased by 300% in the last century, but traffic controller resources haven't kept up. We already have several last-minute wave-offs per week. Do we have to wait for a full-blown disaster?
If you crack this story, what's likely to happen?
Ideally, there will be calls to improve working conditions by hiring more controllers and upgrading systems. The Council won't pay for improvements voluntarily. This story will provide that pressure.
What will this bug allow you to pick up?
Just audio and video. I'm not trying to tap into the traffic control system if that's what you're worried about. I just need to hear and see them in order to correlate their activity with traffic efficiency.
This bug you want me to plant, could it interfere with traffic signals?
Absolutely not. I made certain that the frequencies it uses won't interfere with anything.
I can't promise anything, but I'll see what I can do. Give me the bug.
Excellent. Just place it on a terminal with a good view of the area. Thanks again for your help. In the long run, this story is going to save lives.
No,
I'm waiting to speak with one of the Councilor's assistants. Commander, any word on my missing men?
I found them. Well, what was left of them. They ran into a thresher maw.
A thresher maw? That's not... My men wouldn't just stumble into a thresher nest. Not the entire unit.
Somebody lured them there with an Alliance distress beacon. Placed it perfectly so they'd land right beside the thresher nest.
Damn it. I had a bad feeling about this ever since my team disappeared. An Alliance beacon used as bait, my unit wiped out, and nobody seems to know anything about it. Commander, I appreciate what you did. Now I need to do my part. The families of those Marines deserve to know why they died.
Captain Anderson said you had information on Baines.
Not as much as I'd like to. One of my crews found him, frozen stiff on board a derelict vessel. The missing recon group? The one I sent you to find? They were scouting the system we found Baines' ship in.
I hope you find what you're after, Admiral.
I will, Shepard. I'll let you know when I find anything out.
Okay, so we've got update with that. He'll obviously contact us when we get back onto the Normandy and start getting back out of the galaxy. Okay, I need to go to CSEC.
Hello, Commander.
Show me what you got.
I'll open the rare stocks for you, Commander. Enjoy.
I'm already getting readings. This is gonna make a great story. Thank you so much for your help. Here, this is everything I've got from my publisher's budget.
It was no problem. Good luck with your story. It deserves to be heard.
I appreciate your support. I hope this will save some lives in the long run. Thanks again for your help. I'm gonna show this to my publisher.
Right. There is nothing else I can pick up, is there? I don't think there is there? Yeah, there's everything. I've done everything I can possibly do in the Citadel for now. Short of any other side mission from news reports, but I should already have enough to keep me occupied before we go to Ferros anyway.
Coming up in a report later today, Emily Wong investigates corruption on the Citadel and uncovers a full-blown crime syndicate.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress. Decontamination in... Logged. The commanding officer is aboard. XO Presley stands relieved.
Okay, gonna do my usual thing of parking up inside the quarters. And we'll save the game there. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to hold off the tiredness burn for another hour. So, plus my back is actually getting rather achy, so I best deal with that before I, yeah. I'll probably best ending it before I end up in severe bout of pain and I suddenly have to disappear without warning. Yeah. Hopefully it's going to get looked at pretty soon anyway with the health scheme we've got going at work, so although that won't be happening until after the Easter break, but anyway. Yeah, so we're going to bookmark here. We've actually made pretty efficient progress, actually. I mean, when I was on the ground, I was actually burning through stuff fairly quickly, so I'd imagine we can burn through content fairly quickly, actually, on this Infiltrator build, which would be pretty good going, but there's plenty to be doing, obviously, before we get to Ferros. So there's the Lunar mission involving the Rogue VI, the usual side missions that we pick up elsewhere, so there'll be the Cerberus stuff as well for Kohoku. There'll be the exogeny scientist that's been turned into husks, stuff like that. So yeah, plenty to be getting on with there, certainly. So the next time we'll be playing this will be on Friday evening at 6:30 UK time. I do finish early at work on a Friday, so I'll be able to do a 6:30 start for that one, so that'll be the plan then. We'll continue on with this Infiltrator playthrough and hopefully get through fair more stuff as well, try and burn through the content as quickly as possible, just so we can get moved on to the rest of the trilogy, because this character hasn't been fully leveled out in 2 and 3, so it'll be interesting how that plays out. Yeah, so pretty good going this evening. Back again. So yeah, as I alluded to earlier with the conversation with Mushroom, who you should also check out on Twitch at Mushroom CF. It looks like we are definitely going to be doing some Borderlands 1 tomorrow night at around 7 o'clock, 7:30. I've got confirmation that Andy is also up for it, so Mouse is going to be joining us for a round, and we'll hopefully get a 4th player involved as well. Either Marut or Strike will be involved, so we should have a full 4-player startup of Borderlands 1 Enhanced Edition, following today's update of the original 3 games out there. So yeah, be sure to follow me on Twitch, Mixer, and on DLive, and subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notifications when I go live for that. But it'll be somewhere between 7 o'clock and 7:30 that we'll be starting with that. Not sure what character I'm picking. I think Mouse has mentioned his desire to go for Brick, because Orc being Orc, likes playing Orcs in Warhammer, so he basically wants to keep suit with that. So I'm probably going to be voting for Mordecai, because Brick and Mordecai were the 2 characters I was more interested in playing some more with on Borderlands, because I've already done a soldier playthrough when I originally got the game way back when, but we'll see how it plays out anyway. So that'll be the case. So as I say, be sure to follow me on whatever your side channel is that you watch to get notifications when I go live for some Borderlands action, and we'll be going back to Mass Effect 1 on Friday night at 6:30. If you wish to see previous streams, they're all on my YouTube page, specifically as an archive of all my previous streams. You can check out obviously what I've done so far on this Infiltrator playthrough, albeit it was only just started last night. There's my recent playthrough of the Mass Effect Trilogy as a Paragon Soldier. I still have to return to redo Endgame on that soldier, although that's probably going to be happening now at some point on the weekend, more likely the Saturday. I don't know what time yet until closer to the time, and I'll probably make mention on Friday when I'll do that, but I'll probably finish off the soldier playthrough on the Saturday to actually get that series complete following the technical difficulties I had last Sunday. If you wish to leave a tip to support the channel, there's various links to donate to Streamlabs. That's all greatly appreciated. If you wish to become a patron of the channel, there's also links to LibrePay, where you can set up regular donations either weekly or monthly to support the channel. It's a very similar system to Patreon or Subscribestar, where you can set up regular payments to support content creators that you wish to support in their endeavours. The main difference though with LibrePay is it doesn't have a tiered reward system like Patreon or Subscribestar, and that's simply because I don't have the ability to really offer any realistic tiered reward system, which is why I've gone for LibrePay. Allows me to just offer a no-nonsense, simple, straightforward subscribe system. But it's all greatly appreciated, and your name will be added to the end of the credit screen on every video that I do in the future, should you wish to become a patron for the channel. Other than that, thanks again for watching in. Thanks for checking out again Davination. I'll try and check out some of your stuff as well on Borderlands now that you're getting into it yourself. Actually as well, might try and get some Borderlands 2 teaming in the near future once we've done with Borderlands 1 as well. Actually, I've still got plenty of characters that I could potentially team with as well, so but I'll be sure to check that out. Be sure to check out Domination TV on DLive if you want to check out his initial playthrough of Borderlands 2 today. That's his first time playing it. And other than that, thanks again for watching in, everyone, and I will see you tomorrow at sometime between 7 o'clock and 7:30 UK time for some Borderlands 1 action. So until then, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon.